Now, today we are going to go through a very short topic that we know, a very short story about a gentleman that we all know and love. And the title is To Love is to Forgive. The title is what? To love is to do what? To love is to forgive. And like many African men, I sometimes love watching football. How many watch football? How many? Just be honest. Be honest. This is the house of God. How many love? Okay, not love, watch. I've not said anything about loving, but just watching, even if it's a World Cup. And we are familiar with a competition in Europe called the Champions League. Have you heard of it? Who are the reigning champions? Who are the reigning champions of the Champions League? They won last year. Who are they? Have you heard of a team by the name Real Madrid? You guys are so holy. Ama, you don't watch, you watch basketball or you watch rugby. Now, in the Champions League final of 2018, someone did a very costly mistake. It was the final match between Real Madrid and Liverpool. How many watched it? I watched it. And a gentleman by the name Loris Karius was a goalkeeper for Liverpool. And Liverpool wanted to win the Champions League for the first time since 2005. Since the time they came back from 3-0 down to beat AC Milan. I watched that game. I was in campus that time. 2005. I don't know where you are. But now they wanted to win the Champions League in 2018. It's a final. And the new coach had given proper instructions to his team. And the goalkeeper who was selected to stand between the goalposts was the best. And his name is Loris Karius. But as the game was going on, how many remember this scene? He threw the ball, he was passing, he caught the ball properly, and as he was passing the ball to one of the teammates, one very agile gentleman by the name Karim Benzema put his foot on the path of the football and just tapped it in, and Loris Karius had done one grave mistake. You know, if you watch football, if you go down to Real Madrid, it's really hard for you to come back. That was the first mistake. And as the time was going on, the teammates of Loris Karius, Mohamed Salah, there was this gentleman by the name Sadio Mane, tried to score, to equalize. But a feeble shot from one player from the Real Madrid team caught Loris Karius again off guard. And he held the ball and it passed between his hands. A second costly mistake. In one game, in a final. If this was South America, you know what would have happened. He'd have been killed or shot dead. Then, we know the rest of the story. Real Madrid won the Champions League for the 11th time. And Loris Karius was very distraught. He had let his team down. And after the match, he went round the pitch begging for forgiveness from the fans. Those who know football, there are fans who rarely forgive. And this man was not forgiven. And in fact, after that match, he was transferred to a team in Turkey by the name Besiktas. We want to see the story of another man who made a big blunder in the Bible. And this man is known for his blunders. And his name is Apostle Peter. This man was a true choleric. This man was known for not being a reasonable man. Peter, in fact, was known for mistakes more than his blessings. But the biggest mistake he ever did was the one that he did before Christ was crucified. The one of denying him. And he did not deny him once. How many times did he deny Jesus? 3 times. Now, for 3.5 years, Peter had walked with Jesus. Nowadays, a normal degree takes 3 to 4 years. During our days, if you're doing engineering, it took 5 years. If you're doing medicine, 6 years. And after high school, si tukimaliza shule, we used to stay out for 1 year, which you don't do nowadays. But imagine having spent 3.5 years in the University of Christ and still making major blunders like this. In fact, Peter was a participator of many of Jesus Christ's miracles. And one of the first miracles that Jesus did through Peter was the incident where Peter, after staying overnight without fishing, meets Jesus. And Jesus tells him, cast your net onto the left of the ship. Was it the right? One side of the ship. And how many fish does he catch? He catches so many to the extent he has to call his neighbors to help him put the fish into his boat. And immediately after that, what does Peter go to do to Jesus? He goes and leans down to him and tells him, Master, come away from me because I am a sinful man. One miracle that Peter saw with his eyes. Another miracle that I love, and I believe is the only man who ever participated in, was walking on water. Jesus is the only person who has ever walked on water because he's the creator. But imagine another man like you and me walking on water. And I like this story because it has some comical relief to it. Now imagine, or you know the whole story. The disciples are in the lake of Galilee, and then there are waves tossing about. And then Peter and the disciples see a figure walking on water. And they presume that it's a ghost. And then Jesus tells them, don't fear, it's me. And one thing interesting with Peter says, if it is you, Master, call me and allow me to walk on. Walk on what? Now imagine if it were not Jesus. What would have happened? So Peter participates in some of the very interesting miracles. And Peter is among the 72 who are sent to the villages, and they heal people, and they cast away demons. Peter indeed is inside Jesus' circle. And in Matthew chapter 16 verse 15 to 18, I'd like us to read that. Maybe someone can open that for us. Matthew chapter 16 verse 15 to 18 is something that happens there. Peter identifies Jesus as someone special. Someone can read that for us, kindly. Matthew chapter 16 verse 15 to 18. Yes, Brother Winfred? Yes? Yes? Just go to the verse before it. No, you have to start from 15. Yes? Just start now because you have the microphone. Thank you.
Sorry for that.
We'll give you time, don't worry.
Okay. Matthew 16.
16, 15 to 18.
The Bible reads.
Yes.
But what about you? He asked. Who do you say I am? Simon Peter answered, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus replied, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by man, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it.
Thank you, brother. Peter acknowledges that Jesus Christ is Christ, he is the Messiah. And Jesus tells him, this has not been shown to you by the human eye. This knowledge has come from God himself. Indeed, Peter is in the circle of Jesus Christ. But if you go to the book of Matthew chapter 26 verse 31 to 33, Jesus, knowing the future, tells the disciples that all of you are going to do what? You're going to deny me. Let's go to 26 verse 31 to 33. You can read that for us.
31,
yes.
The Bible reads, yes. Then Jesus told them, this very night you will fall away on account of me, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I have risen, I will go ahead of you in Galilee.
Verse 33.
33, Peter replied, even if all...
He's always the first one to reply. What does he say?
Even if all fall away on account of you,
yes,
I never will.
He says he'll never reject Jesus. Fast forward. Jesus is arrested. He's taken to the high priest. And what happens? Peter denies Jesus how many times? How many times? 3 times. Denying once is okay. Twice, umeenda sana. But 3 times, that's too much. And this is the same man who has seen the miracles that Jesus has done. He's the same one who saw Jesus restore the ear of Malchus after himself had cut it. He's the same one who has seen Simon the leper being healed. He's the same man who has seen Jesus calm the storm. He has seen everything. He comes back to us. What have we seen Jesus do in our lives and still deny him? Why do we deny Jesus? I remember one day when I was a young man, I'm still a young man, we were looking for a venue for a crusade. And someone sent us to a church in the interior of somewhere very far. And we were looking for that church. Seventh-day Adventist church. And we met a group of young people. And we asked one of the young men in that group, do you know anyone from the Seventh-day Adventist church around here? And that man said, yes, huyu mmoja wetu huyu ni anenanga SDA. This young man goes to SDA. And that young man said, no, I'm not an SDA. I'm not an SDA. Then they say, we know you, so unenanga ile kanisa, we ni Adventista. That young man said no. But we could tell he was an Adventist. You deny Christ with your character. You deny Christ by your speech. You said you will serve God, you never deny him. But you have. But God tells us there's hope. God tells us there's hope. John 21, verse 15 to 17. Our key text as we conclude. John 21, 15 to 17.
21,
15 to 17.
15 to 17.
So,
the Bible
before
reads,
that, let me tell you what happens. Jesus is crucified, we all know, but he resurrects on which day? On the first day of the week, which is Sunday. He resurrects after Sabbath, which is Saturday. And on Sunday morning, he resurrects. And he goes and meets Peter and his disciples, who have gone back to fishing. They have gone back to their old ways of life. These people had been called to be apostles. They have been called to spread the whole message of salvation to the whole world, but they had gone back to their daily lives. Now Jesus comes, and in verse 15, this is what happens. Continue. So,
when they had finished eating,
yes,
Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you truly love me more than this?
Do you love me more than this? What did he say?
Yes, Lord, he said, you know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my lambs.
Verse 16.
Again Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you truly love me? He answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said, take care of my sheep.
Take care of my sheep the second time. Then the third time.
The third time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the third time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know all these things. You know that I love you.
Amen. Peter denied Christ 3 times. And to wrap that off, Jesus had to ask him how many other times? 3 times. No, I love God. If it were for the mistakes I've done, I'd not stand here. They say God is not a God of second chances. God is a God of 1,000 chances. And I thank God for that. God forgives young men and young women. Peter's story teaches us to love is to forgive. Jesus loved Peter.